This is the audiobook sample for The Halloweenies, a spooky gay YA love story by Daniel Elijah Sanderfer. This is my 52nd audiobook, and it was released on October 11th, 2022. The Halloweenies is a charming, short, and well-paced romantic novel about two adolescent boys discovering their attraction to each other, and it just so happens to take place on the spookiest night of the year. One of the biggest strengths of this short story was its emphasis on character development. To that end, it provided enough backstory to make you empathize with the two protagonists without bogging down the pacing. The side characters and their immediately definable personalities also elevate the narrative, reminding me a bit of the film Monster House. There was a real deftness employed in the writing to ensure we as readers/listeners witness the main characters' evolution and growth, not only about their feelings for each other, but also for themselves. As a bonus, the kids act and sound like kids, and not like CW drama loaded with pros teenage actors. Because of this care and tact, making the reader invested in the characters seems to have been a primary intention of the author, and I can say with certainty that this is never a bad decision when writing a romance. If you enjoy romantic short stories, I would recommend picking this one up. I hope you enjoy this audiobook sample. My name is Julio, and I just turned 16 over the summer. I'm the same age as my best friend Gage, and we live in a tiny town in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia, called Martinsville. We like to pretend there's nothing more between us than friendship, but my heart knows better. I just haven't told him yet. I guess I'm afraid. Afraid of what he'll say, afraid of what he'll do. I know I wouldn't know what to do if he weren't in my life in some way. Currently, I live in a trailer park on the outskirts of town with my mom. Her name is Costa, and she's a housekeeper at the community college on the other side of town. We do okay, but we'd probably do better if my papa hadn't been deported. One day, Mama hopes that we will all be reunited as soon as we get his papers in order. Then he'll move back in, and we'll be a family again. In the meantime, I try not to think about things. It just hurts too much. That's why I spend all my time with Gage. His life isn't much better. He currently lives with a foster family after social services removed him from his biological parents' home. They were pretty rough people. They spent most of their time smoking weed, drinking, and drawing unemployment since they were laid off from the furniture factory where they worked. His foster parents don't really care what he does. They've already said that once he turns 18, that he's on his own. When that time comes, he and I have made a pact to rent a little place together and be roommates. Yet another reason why I can't tell him how I honestly feel. You see, I've only just figured it out myself. One of the girls in the trailer park invited me to come hang out behind the dumpster of the old Sonic building. Everything started innocent enough. That was until she put her hand on my leg and tried to kiss me. I was so panicked that I just stood up, said no thanks, and ran away. Smooth move, right? I know, but I just didn't know what to do. The last thing on my mind was kissing her. Don't get me wrong, she's a really pretty girl as far as girls go. Plus, she's Hispanic, so Mama would have been thrilled. Unfortunately, as I tried to figure out why I was so afraid, I found that I would have rather she had been a guy. Specifically, Gage. He's that type of guy that everyone looks up to. He's great at sports, smart, and confident to boot. Sometimes a little too confident. It doesn't help that he's got abs for days and a chiseled jawline like a Disney Channel star. Gah, I'm rambling. It happens every time I think about him. Yet, when he's around, I go mute. I act so goofy and strange. My brain thinks of the words I want to say. They just don't seem to travel to my mouth properly. Regardless of what goofy thing I say or do, he just flashes that little boy smile that melts my heart, then laughs and wrestles me. When he laughs, all of my worries seem to fade away. Nothing else matters but me and him. Time seems to slow down, and I make a wish. A wish that these moments could last forever. Despite all the pain he puts me through, I wish I could forever stay like this with him. Friends. It's the not knowing. It's the mystery. The forlorn glances and close calls where we almost kiss. The innocence. Oh, how I wish we could forever stay like this. young and blameless. Unfortunately, I have a feeling that everything is about to change. This Halloween, he wants to do something big, something special. Something that will make this a Halloween we'll always remember. The scariest part is not knowing what it is. He's already been in trouble a few times. Once for spray painting a dick on the back of a building. The other for throwing a rock and breaking a window. I know he didn't do it on his own. He went through a stage where he didn't want to hang out with me. Instead, he was hanging out with some other guys besides me. It was probably our first fight. Those guys were older than us. They liked to get old men to buy them beer and cigarettes. Then they would go to the park and get drunk. It was all fun and games until he came over to my house trashed, and Mama called his parents. They grounded him for a week and forbade him to hang out with them again. I know they're the ones who had him throw the rock. Probably some sort of stupid initiation or something like that. Once his sentence was over, he promptly showed up at my house, apologized to Mom, then to me. I even got a hug out of the deal. It was only like 5 seconds before he wrestled me to the ground, but at least it was something. A link to purchase the Halloweenies is in the description. This title was a pay-for-hour production, so I do not make money from any purchases. Thanks for listening.